Jim, as we mentioned before, the crowd has lined Main Street here up and down as far as the eye can see. And soon the parade will begin as we hear the siren of the Waupaca City Police Squad Car. And you're listening and watching, I think now, on WIN TV and Waupaca Radio 96.3.
This is Jim King and Dan Hansen bringing you the 2017 version of the Hometown Day Parade on a beautiful, sunny, perfect July morning here in downtown Waupaca. And in a moment you'll hear the police siren. Thank goodness that this time it's not an emergency. This time it's the official start to the parade. Our parades always start and end with our beloved police officers leading the way and bringing up the rear and making sure that everybody knows. And right behind the police car, you can see them already, are the now famous Manawa Harley Riders.
The Harley Classic Riders have been in this parade as long as we have, and probably longer. I think this is my 30th year of being in downtown Waupaca for the 4th of July parade. And
well, I started attending this parade in the 1970s. Of course, I was just a knee high to a knee then. But the Harley Classic Riders were marshaling the parade back then. They get this great group of individuals to get together, and what they do is they just cruise the perimeter of the parade route, making sure that parade goers and spectators don't get overexcited. We don't want anybody running out into the street to see the parade. Be patient, it will come by. And the Harley Classic Riders have always helped make this a very safe and successful parade. It's great to see them here. They're part of the tradition.
And we've got a lot of familiar units and some new ones in this parade. So settle back for the next hour and join us and enjoy the Waupaca Hometown Days Parade as it comes near our broadcast vantage point. You can see our cameras already picking up the squad car about half a block down the road or down the street, and the parade is officially underway, and the folks that are here are getting ready to enjoy it and maybe pick up a treat or two along the way.
Perfect day for parade. There's not a single cloud in the sky. We have just beautiful blue from horizon to horizon. The sun is shining in downtown Waupaca. The thermometer on the Farmers State Bank says 75 degrees. There's just the tiniest breeze, making everybody here comfortable enough to be smiling from ear to ear as the 2017 Hometown Day Parade approaches.
Just the kind of day we ordered, Jim, right?
Well, we were all praying for the same thing.
I think we're going to have, as we talked about before, I think we're going to have a bigger crowd watching this parade today than we've had in several years because of a number of factors: the beautiful weather, the fact that it's a 4-day weekend for some, and a great crowd, a great parade as always, and we're looking forward to it, and we're glad you're with us here on WIN TV and Waupaca Radio. It's quite an experience listening to that siren when you have wearing a headset and getting all the full measure of that sound. And we talked about them before, and we see them now coming into view, the Harley Classic Riders.
I was just going to jump in. Mention that if you're watching us on WIN TV, behind the wheel of that police cruiser is our newest police chief, Chief Brian Holzell. Congratulations and welcome to him. That was Polecat on that first Harley tricycle, wasn't it?
The Harley Riders have stopped in front of us. We have two-wheel and even some three-wheel motorcycles here that the riders are. I suppose a three-wheeler would be correctly called a tricycle, but I don't know if they'd appreciate that or not. The sounds of the Harleys as they roar by us here.
Wisconsin. It's Cheese Curds, Harley Davidson, and the Green Bay Packers. And here's the reason we get up every morning.
VFW Post 1037 and auxiliary, the Color Guard and the veterans who have...
If I can point out, Dan, as they come down Main Street here in downtown Waupaca, these men are getting a standing ovation.
Well deserved, I might add.
Men and women, because we have the VFW auxiliary here besides. And I tell you, if it's not easy for the men overseas, it's not easy for the family at home either.
You're seeing a vintage Ford Bronco, and the sign on the front, if you missed it, said "Stand Up, it's your flag too," and indeed it is.
And on the back end it says, "All gave some and some gave all. Let's never ever forget that. Freedom truly is not free. It never has been, nor will it ever be."
American Legion Post 161, another great Waupaca area veterans organization.
And I see they have a couple of Boy Scouts. I don't see the troop number, but Boy Scouts leading their delegation and carrying their banner.
You gotta like that little Jeep. It's a mini version of the famous Jeep from World War II, the American Legion and Auxiliary from King. Followed by the New London Veterans Memorial Foundation, the Disabled American Veterans.
And here's, we have a blue van in front of us now, the DAV, Disabled American Veterans. And the American Legion Auxiliary Post 226.
The American Legion, one of the great military service organizations that helps veterans and their families. As we watch the convertible go by. A Jeep Renegade and a minivan with more American Legion folks from Manawa. And you're listening to the Waupaca High School Band. Watch out for the umpire.
And Mark Krishak has been leading that band and our city band.
Amazing.
As long as I can recall. This different kind of horns on this next vehicle. Been here since 1946. The area's greatest earth movers. Fox Brothers Construction celebrating 70 years.
And Fox Brothers is represents the Grand Marshal in this year's parade. Fox Brothers is the Waupaca Area Chamber of Commerce Large Business of the Year from 2016.
Have you been there lately? They did a whole facelift. The whole building is new. The reception area, the place is looking great. Freddie Fox should be proud.
He never ages either. The Waupaca Area Chamber of Commerce float.
That's our director of tourism there, Mitch Swenson, behind the wheel of that Sierra truck. Donated, we should say, for this event by Neville Motors of Waupaca, very active, and the Waupaca Area Chamber of Commerce and Visitor and Convention Bureau.
We talked about this before, the Waupaca Historical Society, their Waupaca Electric Light Railroad. Car is just going past us now, and the Historical Society has done a great job of renovating the old depot in Waupaca here, and we talked about this on Waupaca Radio, but if you get a chance, stop in and see it sometime when they're open. It's great, a great tribute to the Historical Society and great tribute to the city of Waupaca.
They're open today on the 4th of July. Celebrating 100 years of the National Guard. We have a wagon load of candy being distributed by local kids.
And we also have the ever popular Humvee and really big truck after that.
Kind of an ominous-looking motor vehicle. You see the Humvees and the troop carrier trucks painted in a variety of camo patterns. Nice to know we have them. You'd hate to see them pull up in your neighborhood.
Gulf Company welcomes you is the sign on this big truck here, and it just screams, don't mess with us here.
Well, I'm pretty sure this Gulf Company has nothing to do with playing golf. This is the Gulf Company.
The Waupaca Fire Department is coming up now, and really some special folks in this first open truck here. And Jim, I think we've got the names in front of us here.
Well, it's kind of amazing, Dan. It really is. Some of these guys have been members of the fire department as long as you and I have been broadcasting. We have a fire truck full of guys that you can see here on Win TV. If you're listening to us, they include Alan Pohl, Romy Youngers, Lee Thompson, Steve Zuby, Mike Fletcher, Kent Nelson, Lee Pullman. Actually, I think Lee is still on his motorcycle. Lonnie Sherman, Bob Whitman, David Barnhart, Doug Nielsen, and Dennis Edwards combined for just under 400 years of service to the community. That group of men, and now as I understand it, they're passing the torch.
Right, we have Romy Youngers, I believe his two sons are both members of the fire department, as the second generation of the Whitman family is on there as well.
Yeah, it's incredible that these guys have dedicated, and that means no matter what your business, no matter what your family activity, the siren rings, you drop what you're doing and you bolt, and you're down at the fire department and aboard the truck and on your way to solve somebody else's emergency.
And
they've been doing this as volunteers.
All volunteers, absolutely. And
for, well, the shortest tenure I see on that list I read is over 20 years. The greatest is over 40 years. And once again, that group of men combined for nearly 400 years of service. And by the way, they have cash raffle tickets available at the fire department after the parade, and somebody's going to win $5,000 while supporting the fire department.
And of course, the Waupaca Area Ambulance was represented here in the parade, and more members of the military represented. The Military Order of the Purple Heart, Disabled American Veterans also participating in this parade.
And these are the folks that do what is necessary to help take care of those people who gave more than anybody should have to and still came home.
Also in the parade for so many years, the Waupaca Knights of Columbus with a pickup truck and flag and folks in the back there waving at the crowd. I kind of missed the old ship that they used to have in the parade. I don't know if it was the Santa Maria or the Nina or the Pinta, but it kind of got waterlogged, I think, and is no longer with us.
No, wooden ships don't last forever. The next one will be fiberglass.
The Waupaca
Rotary International. This is a group of foreign exchange students that come to Waupaca from all over the world, and in turn, Waupaca sends local students all over the world to further friendships, build relationships, and share the education.
Also in the parade, we have the Wisconsin Veterans Home at King represented. The nursing home that cares for America's heroes and their families. And it's not just the people that wear the uniform, but it's also the families that really are patriots and heroes in this country.
Next up on our parade route is the Wisconsin Veterans Home at King, among the best neighbors anybody could ask for. Their home on the Waupaca Chain of Lakes is a home to about 750 or so veterans of all ages, from conflicts ranging from World War II up to and including wars in the Mideast.
Next we have Waupaca Mobile with their tow truck. Waupaca Mobile provides services for every towing need. They say no job is too big or too small for their towing service.
Well, Waupaca Mobile is there for you when you need them. And I don't care if you need a tire fixed, you need a tow, or you just need a place to stop for breakfast in the wee hours of the morning. Waupaca Mobile and the Three Squares, you've always been able to count on them. I almost envy our listeners. It would be fun to listen to this. You can tell when the fire trucks are going by. If you listen, you can hear the Harley riders driving by as these different floats pass.
And we see that the Harley riders are having a charity ride on July 22nd. And we see the Waupaca Fire Department in the parade now talking about promoting their firefighters dance August 19th.
That'll be right at the firehouse in Waupaca, featuring the popular Spicy Thai Band.
The second unit from the Waupaca Fire Department.
Well, this one features not only their fire and rescue unit, but some of the special equipment that local fire departments have today, including a tracked off-road vehicle, that is for winter lake and snow rescue. They can actually do, really rugged terrain rescues. These days, with more people finding more ways to enjoy the outdoors, sometimes they need more help. Representative, good to see you this morning.
Good to see you.
Hi, Kevin.
Just joined by Kevin Peterson, 40th District State Representative from Waupaca.
And a former veteran himself.
A absolute veteran, long-time veteran. And backing him up, the rest of the GOP team, we have the Republican Party and their Republican elephant, who this year have added to their elected officials a We Back the Badge support for local law enforcement.
Chain of Lakes Express is in this year's parade as well. Chain of Lakes Express since 1980, proudly hauling for Waupaca and the Waupaca Foundry. Jim, you've got to take this one. You like ice cream, don't you?
Well, we all scream for ice cream. This is the ice cream brain freeze truck, and they're tossing, I think those, I don't know if it's candy or frozen, little popsicles that they're sharing with kids along the parade route. But whenever they're tossing treats out to the kids, that's very popular.
And just going by us is a vintage vehicle and a convertible. I didn't catch what that was. It's a beautiful.
That one's actually a Ford, but back in that day they were so big it was hard to tell them apart.
Carousel Gymnastics is in this year's parade, a family-run business dedicated to developing happy, healthy, and self-confident kids through a fun and creative environment. They teach kids as young as 18 months, have a ninja program.
They have that big platform truck. I'm wondering if we're going to see some gymnastics while we're out there. I see some gymnasts. But I would think it's a little more difficult to do gymnastics on a moving platform.
I've given up gymnastics.
Yeah.
And right down on the ground is a little car.
Well, we saw the little race car. I don't know if our camera could catch that. There we go. This looks like a Can-Am race car, but it's miniature size, and right behind representing Team Remax Realtors. That's how you keep a hot air balloon afloat.
I can feel the heat.
Yeah, we're 15 yards away, and that's very warm. It's bursts of flame that you would normally fill a hot air balloon with. Behind the wheel of the truck is longtime local realtor and builder Jim Tranto.
We wouldn't want to say that Remax has a lot of hot air, would we? No.
Well, no, Jim maybe, but no, but we wouldn't say that.
One of the great retirement communities in the area, Park Vista, is coming up next here in our parade.
These are actually neighbors of ours. They Park Vista borders Foxfire Golf Course on the west side of Waupaca. Modern, just incredible community for people who have decided they'd either like a little company or a little help. And I've had the good fortune to entertain there a dozen or more times. And I have to tell you, it is a fun place to spend time. You look forward to being over there.
Park Vista Independent Living for advanced care needs as well. You're watching the Waupaca Hometown Days Parade here in July 4th on Win TV and listening to it on Waupaca Radio 96.3
on your FM dial. The tower of radio power from beautiful downtown Waupaca.
You had a little flashback there, didn't you, Jim?
I couldn't help it. I
think we've got the Waupaca Foundry coming up next.
Could be. Well, that's Paul's Construction's truck. We dig you. Well, this is actually the We Dig You too.
Okay.
But it is so much fun watching this great crowd that lines the streets of downtown Waupaca from the very north end at the soon-to-be remodeled Danes home all the way down Main Street to South Park. Who is that aboard the Paul's Concrete Construction truck, Dan?
I can't see.
Well, it looks like a space capsule.
Oh, I thought I was looking for the driver.
Oh, no, I'm just wondering, what is this contraption on the back?
It looks like a robot arm or something from maybe from the space station or something. I don't know. We have no information on it, so it's maybe classified. I don't know.
Unless those are the ductile iron things produced by Waupaca Foundry.
Could be, yeah.
One of the most award-winning foundries in the country, we might add. Wherever I travel, when people find I'm from Waupaca, they say, "Oh, you're the Waupaca Foundry?" We have a great reputation.
And if you're hungry, we have Arby's here. Happy 4th of July from Arby's, a quick service restaurant on a never-ending quest for the perfect sandwich.
Well, and it looks to me like they're passing out coupons to parade goers who might want to be stopping by for lunch after the big show.
We also have Jim's Roofing Service celebrating over 30 years of business installing custom steel roofs and a whole lot more.
Well, they've got pets in their parade float for the kids. They've got dogs and a goat.
Get my goat here.
Well, and the kids watching the parade love that as much as they do fire trucks or a marching band.
I love the old cars, and here's one right now.
And speaking of old cars, isn't this Iola Old Car Week?
Right, starting Thursday.
Later this week, if you're an old car.
I think it's the 50th anniversary of the Iola Old Car Show. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I believe.
So that sounds right to me. And if you're an old car aficionado, it's still one of the largest car shows in the country. Just a wonderful time. I mean, they have food and entertainment, everything going on. It's just a great day for the whole family.
And here's a unique entry in the parade. Tom Ferg, a guy I used to work with, good friend in the real estate business now, has a parade. He's got all the folks listed from the real estate company. I think, is that Udoni? I'm not sure, but...
And Team Strasser, that would be Matt Strasser. Everybody is being included. And that little train is one of the really popular...
Udoni Sale and Realty Group, a lifestyle and real estate company specializing in the Waupaca area and Chain of Lakes.
And there's Joe, we went by as a white Cadillac Eldorado from the 1960s, and that's Joe Udoni at the wheel. I had the good fortune to... he let me drive that car all day one day while we filmed a TV commercial. And speaking of TV, Dan, who, pray tell, is that?
Well, we have Waupaca Online, Waupaca Win TV, and Waupaca Radio coming past us right now. As we mentioned, 96.3 Waupaca Radio, and Win TV is on Charter Cable Channel 991.
It is.
That's what I heard.
We have friends here. Coming up next will be from the Scandinavia Fire Department. Engine 942. They want to ask us to invite you to spend an evening with them August 4th with carnival rides, games, food, and country music by Raised Reckless. Great band. I've heard them several times. Gates open at 5. Music starts at 8. Scandinavia Fire Department. That will be coming up. Their Scandinavia Fireman's Picnic on August 4th.
And we have the Waupaca Food. Is that the Waupaca Food Pantry coming in?
See if we can get their attention.
With a vintage International tractor pulling the wagon.
I was trying to watch for them because we had some canned food here for the food pantry. We wanted to share it with them.
And we have the Waupaca County Democratic Party entry in the parade going past us now, a convertible and some walkers. And we have looks like a vehicle decorated with flags. And I'm not sure if that's also the Democratic Party. I think it is.
Yes, it is. It's a small man-made donkey, and they're handing out candy.
We talked about this earlier. The Waupaca Chain Skiers, always a fixture here at our parades, and a great fixture all summer long on the Chain of Lakes. They have a show tonight. Pre-show at 5:45. Main show at 6:30 p.m. And their shows are all summer long, usually on Saturday night and sometimes during the week as well.
And what a wonderful, you want to talk about great family entertainment. There's free parking at the Veterans Home in King. You walk right up, you go right around the building, and you're right there with the veterans, and you just spread out a blanket on the ground or bring a folding chair. They usually have some refreshments. There's a junior show early at 5:45. Then at about 6:15 or so, there's the regular show. This is an award-winning water ski program, and it's free. So, what a great way for the whole family to get out and enjoy themselves. They get to see the Veterans Home and share that if you choose to. And the water ski show is breathtaking. This is just one of the best events you could take your family to, and I hope you take advantage of it.
Several generations of young people have been a part of the chain water skiers over the years, and
it's all about the balance, obviously.
Something we no longer have, I think.
Yeah, really.
And another boat from the chain skiers is coming into view right now. And I think the chain skiers probably started sometime, maybe the 1960s, but they've been around a long time. And a great fun thing for folks to do in the summertime. I don't think they'll be riding the unicycle on Rainbow Lake, but they've got, what is that little, is that a hoverboard or what is that going past us now?
I see the skiers are supported by Farmer State Bank and Peterson Marine. But you notice that virtually all of these trailers and floats are towed by trucks that were donated by Neville Motors. They take brand new trucks off their lot and let so many of these groups use them in the parade. You want to talk about a great neighbor. Tim and the whole crew at Neville Motors. Boy, it's just so nice to have them around.
Up next in the parade is Custom Machining LLC with a truck and trailer. Custom Machining is a one-stop shop for machining and fabrication. They say if you need some machining or fabrication, give them a call at 715-258-2908.
And he doesn't need a truck. He's got his own truck with his matching trailer, and it's all gussied up with banners and flags and God Bless America, wishing us all a happy 4th of July. A lot of spirit there, good attitude.
Adventure Outfitters is in the parade now again this year with kayaks and
paddle boards, and just if you can have fun outside, that fun starts at Adventure Outfitters, which is coincidentally right across from where we are broadcasting today.
Oh.
You'll actually see a little bit of their sign on the other side of that kayak. But yeah, the kayaks and the paddle boards have become just huge in the recreation industry. People want to get outside and enjoy themselves, and when they come home, they want to know that they can cook or do whatever's necessary. They want to count on that propane, and L&L Propane is there for them. They've been around since 1988. They serve 17 central Wisconsin counties, delivering LP gas and tank sales and service. If you have questions, you can call them toll-free whenever you need to.
And they're right on time with their deliveries, too. I can swear to that.
Well, that's good to know. I'd be surprised if they were not.
Waupaca Area Special Olympics is also in the parade this year. And I think that's them right now. Maybe not.
Streets of Waupaca lined
Marine.
from one end to the other with just beautiful families all enjoying the sunshine and 78-degree weather. Perfect 4th of July day for the Hometown Day Parade here in downtown Waupaca.
And Waupaca Special Olympics and Peterson Marine jointly involved in this parade entry. We mentioned Peterson Marine right on, I believe they're on Columbia Lake, if I'm not mistaken. Sales and service, boats, motors. Great folks at Peterson Marine and supporting Special Olympics here in Waupaca.
Yeah, if you can't be on the water, at least you can be on a boat. Here's another part of the Peterson Marine float. This one towed by a Neville Motors truck. Nice black Silverado four-door. But how'd you like to be on that big old pontoon boat out on the Waupaca chain of lakes today?
Nothing better than being out on the chain on a pontoon boat on a day like this.
Oh, I tell you, there's just room for you, your closest friends and family, and a cooler. For water.
Right. Bethany Home is in the parade as well again this year, I think.
Now, Bethany has become among the fastest growing of Waupaca businesses and residences. They have so much over there that is new and growing. You have to see it to believe it.
And from their entry comes Lee Greenwood singing Proud to Be an American. That's one of my very favorite songs, I think.
I just noticed every once in a while, if you look at the background there, we have our new fire chief, Brian Holzell, with McGruff the crime dog, and the two of them
police chief, right?
They're following a tradition that was set by our previous chief, Tim Goke, who retired last year. But he normally made it out to the parade with McGruff the crime dog, which is a real treat for the kids. And, for Chief Goke and now for Chief Holzell, it was just a long walk on a sunny day.
We were looking at the Waupaca, or the Christian Motorcycle Association, changing the world one heart at a time. And they're heading up the street now and getting ready for our next entry.
Yeah, checking out the guy on the motorcycle with the Davy Crockett hat.
We mentioned the Iola Old Car Show before, and here's the entry in the parade today. The Iola Old Car Show and Swap Meet coming up later this week, starting on Thursday, I believe.
And to be fair, I need to point out that one is towed by a truck from Klein Chevrolet Incorporated. You can win that white, I believe that's a Camaro, which is what they're celebrating at Iola this year. Those are 50 years old. Camaro came out in 1967, or so I've read.
Yeah, so I know your grandfather told you about it, right?
But how'd you like to win that white Camaro that's at the Iola Car Show, sponsored by Rawhide?
And there's behind it we're looking now at, I think that's a 57 Chevy, isn't it?
57 Chev wagon.
Well, that's kind of a rare thing, isn't it?
Boy, and look at the condition that's in. This is like a brand new vehicle. It's sort of a bronzy brown and cream Chevrolet station wagon. The most popular year I think Chevrolet ever had was 1957. And every year since then, it's become more popular.
Digger's Excavation next in our parade.
That must be Digger Dog in the back of that pickup truck. There's some hard-working volunteer wearing an all-black dog suit on a sunny July day.
And a big skid steer loader, Diggers Excavation, a family-owned and run business, providing quality work at affordable prices.
And this, well, we have another fire truck first from Iola and the rural area. Engine number 924. Yep. Is that right? Yes.
It's great to see, really to honor the firefighters as well, because we mentioned before that all the firefighters around this area, they're all volunteers. They all have other jobs. They all have things. But when the siren sounds and the radio goes off, they're there. They just drop everything and go to help somebody else.
And it seems to me one year, it was right just as we got to the last few floats in this parade. The siren went off, the radio sounded, and you want to see a change of attitude and a change of gears. Everybody here, all of a sudden, it was get out of the way. The fire department is no longer parading. They are now in firefighting mode. And at any time, day or night, 24/7, responding to somebody else's emergencies.
Waupaca County's finest fireworks is in the parade, and they're located on Apple Tree Lane. So if you need fireworks yet for celebration.
You know, the kids that are handing out candy along the parade route are doing a great job. That rather than flinging it, they're actually throwing it low on the ground so that kids can get it. Nobody's going to get hit with flying candy. Very thoughtful.
The Scandinavia Viking Snowmobile Club is in this year's parade as well, and with a truck pulling one of their trail groomers at some site. Again, another volunteer effort to really keep the area tourism flourishing in the wintertime. These folks do this on a volunteer basis. They keep the trails marked. They mark the trails. They groom the trails. And
well, for local residents and tourists,
right.
It's nice to know that we have these great recreational opportunities, but they don't exist in nature. They are prepared and maintained by volunteers. And part of that same group, boy, look at that old Skidoo's sled up there, and then the little Mini on the front, with a big thank you to the landowners. And there again, without them saying, yeah, sure, you can run your trail through my property.
Absolutely.
I mean, liability and all the rest of it, but a whole area comes together so that everybody can have more fun. Oh, look at this. Celebrating America's idols, we have Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. What a wonderful float this is, a huge flatbed truck. Trimmed in blue and giant red, white, and blue pom-poms, and young people wearing the uniform of every branch of service and carrying the flag of every branch of service to celebrate America's birthday. What a great float. I hope they win a prize. Does that damage my credibility for,
No, I think your credibility is beyond damage.
Okay. And I think favoritism is pretty much expected on the air today. Sad to say.
Faith Community Church, with its entry coming up next, they have their musicians, and Faith Community Church, affiliated with the Evangelical Free Church of America, recently celebrated its 35th anniversary. Their priorities include teaching from the Bible, growing children and youth in their faith, and serving the community.
And there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and
They have a very active worship music. So many of the churches these days do. They've gone a lot. I've always enjoyed the church choir. But some of them these days have really taken it to a whole new level, haven't they?
And here's something for every boy who dreams about having some of these when they grow up. The Recreational, the John Deere dealer.
Boy, we've got
Central
John
Wisconsin.
Deere zero-turn mower and a John Deere, I think that's a Gator
Right.
ATV, and then the John Deere tractor. And I'm thinking, oh boy, it's Christmas at my house. Are you watching, honey? This is it.
Every
Nothing
boy
runs like
needs
a
a
deer.
tractor, right, Jim?
Well, you need 3 different tractors for different, there's some for work, some for play, and some for just taking care of business around the house. Average Joe craft and vendor shows. Okay. They promote craft and vendor shows, so I'm guessing that you want to go someplace and spend the day shopping?
They'll be there.
Well, the guys are out riding their John Deeres.
One of my favorite entries in the parade is always the Waupaca Community Theater, Jim.
Well, it looks to me like this group is all set to do Annie, because I see Annie and Daddy Warbucks in that convertible. Now, some people might think that's Tim Cole, but no.
The Waupaca Community Theater is in its 20th season of producing high-quality musical theater for the citizens of Waupaca and Central Wisconsin. And I remember years ago, there was it a play called Harvey?
It was.
Somebody was sitting next to me right now had the starring role in that play.
I didn't play Harvey. I played Elwood Dowd. Harvey is the invisible rabbit. But that was the first ever Waupaca Community Theater production. And actually, for me, it was one of the most fun things I've ever done. And boy, did the city of Waupaca and the surrounding area come together to instantly make community theater a successful and viable organization.
Next, we have the group Foundations for Living. They're located, I think, on Churchill Street.
Yes, and they're a very interesting group, Dan. There's people who are starting out. Sometimes there are people starting over. More than occasionally, there are people with special challenges to get on their feet and become more autonomous. And that's what Foundations for Living does. It gives them the skills they need, and sometimes the materials they need, including clothes and food and a place to stay, until they can get to that point where they can move out, get on their own, and start becoming more involved in and a more productive member of the community.
It's great to see an organization giving people a helping hand and not simply just a handout.
Well, right, a hand up, not a handout, and they seem to have been very successful so far. Catholic United Financial, and this is the Catholic United Response Mobile Unit. Now, Catholic United is a fraternal insurance company. The response unit shows up when there's been a tornado or a fire or some other disaster in the area, and what you need is not a lot of well wishes. What you need is a lot of help right now today, and they actually show up whether it's water or first aid or communications. They're going to be on the scene to help people, take those first steps back toward normalcy.
Next, we have Jerry Schmidt with some of his tractors in the parade this year. This is a farm all, probably going back to the 1970s, maybe.
Okay. Boy, it sure doesn't look it. It looks like a 1 or 2 year old tractor, but it's obviously not. And behind that farm all, the blue, I'm going to say, is a Ford tractor.
It is, Jim. And we have a lot of great folks in this area that restore these vintage tractors. And if you like to see old farm machinery, one of the things coming up later this month is the Union Threshery in the village of Simcoe, the unincorporated village of Simcoe, just north of Manawa. And there'll be a lot of tractors, a lot of old machinery. And
and don't forget the Scandinavia Corn Roast. They have a tractor pull, and they usually have tractor action out at the Waupaca County Fair as well.
So Iola, Scandinavia, Manawa, Waupaca, you name it. Something is going on throughout the summer.
Kids love it. There's some. You show a little boy a tractor in action, and he'll put down that phone.
More music, this time from the Waupaca City Band. Mark Krishek, who was with the Waupaca High School Band, marched with them up the street a while ago. scooted back to the city band, and he's now getting a chance to ride with the members of the city band on this Fox Brothers truck and trailer as they play here in the parade.
Let's see if we can pick up the music.
Just as you say that, they stop playing, of course. Always great to have the city band in our parade, and they're just about ready to strike up again.
Things I love about the city band is it truly is a city band. I see local high school kids, local business owners, everybody comes together to bring their love of music to their city. It's just awesome. God, I love living in Waupaca.
It's a great day to be in Waupaca. And
well, to be fair, the Waupaca area, because Fire on Ice actually takes place in Waupaca, doesn't it?
Right, but we have the Waupaca Area Youth Hockey Association with the entry in this parade again this year, and that's been a great asset to the community with the hockey rink out west of town, and just a great organization for youth in Waupaca.
And I got to tell you, I never did figure out all the rules of hockey, but watching the Zamboni driver showed me a better way to mow my lawn, and I'm thankful for that every fourth day. Speedsters.
Delivery service for food and groceries and other packages.
Yep, apparently you call, they haul, and they'll bring you what you need.
You're listening to the Waupaca Hometown Days Parade here on Waupaca Radio 96.3 and
watching it on Win TV, which would be Charter Cable. Channel 191.
991.
991.
Whatever.
It's up there.
Beautiful day here in Waupaca.
All right, there's a hometown day fan for you. Beautiful kids, and so many of them wearing red, white, and blue, and here to really celebrate America's birthday.
We've got this unit promoting the Manawa Snowdeo, and we have lovely young ladies on the back of the pickup and on
marching bands and beautiful girls.
As well, doesn't get much better.
We know how to
than
have
that.
A parade here, boy. And they're competing for the title of Snowdeo Queen. I see they all have a tiara or crown, so, and all of them deserving of it too. So, although I have to admit, I really find it hard to think about snowmobiling today.
Also in the parade this year, we have Waupaca County's newest judge, I believe.
Yes,
Judge Troy
recent.
Nielsen. And he was elected this past April, and I think he'll be taking the bench upon the retirement of Judge Philip Kirk.
Right, and he came out today to thank the voters and wish America a happy birthday. And I think that's his honor right there, marching in the parade.
Well, he doesn't have his robe on, but I'll take your word for it.
Posing for pictures with voters too. How about that?
What a novel idea.
Okay. Oh, and now we have more. Is it still okay to call them beauty queens?
Yeah.
Well, they're beautiful, and at the risk of being chastised for that, these are beautiful young women, and they are here. I think they are the fairest of the fair, Sydney Brooks, whose sister was Allison Dairyland a few years ago.
Zoe.
They are the daughters of
Ron Brooks.
Ron Brooks. I always want to say Dodge, but that's their grandpa. But beautiful, talented, intelligent, just incredible young women. A great example for the Waupaca County Fair. and then some fine horse flesh as well, including a Palomino Pinto.
And we want to remind you that the Waupaca County Fair is coming up next month, August 23rd through the 27th. Grandstand shows, tractor pulls, music, and Montgomery Gentry headlining the Friday night show. Advance tickets for the fair are now on sale. We see the Demolition Derby car there. I don't know if it's Demolition Derby. It looks like it's been in the Demolition Derby.
And
the tractor
there is
pull.
The biggest, baddest tractor I think I've ever seen. That's a case tractor on the back of that trailer, and wow. They wanted us to remind you too that if you buy your tickets for that stage show at the fair now, they're only $18, and that includes your admission to the fair. So you can save some dollars by getting your tickets early. We're also guaranteed a seat then too.
We were looking at lovely young ladies and handsome horses performing or promoting the Girls Barrel and race to show American spirit, the honky
performance
right.
horses, yeah.
Honky performance.
Honky tonk is the music after the show.
Right.
And that giant green dump truck crossing your radio from right to left right now is Swinkle's Trucking and Excavating. Once again, you need it someplace else or you need it here, they can do that for you.
And coming up next is the Scandi-Hoose, a coffee shop and gift shop selling authentic Scandinavian gifts and art by local artists. Oofta.
Celebrating not only America's birthday, but their Swedish and Norwegian heritage. And Oofta, I guess, is just the general term that young Vikings use when they are surprised, supportive, or just slightly shocked.
They have the Danes, the Swedes, and the Norwegians.
Oh yeah, don't forget the Danes. They came up with the best sweet rolls. And I think it's getting to be that time. An hour has elapsed. It's hard to believe that an hour is nearly finished already. But this is one of those great, truly all-terrain vehicles. You'll notice this one has tracks instead of tires. It's part of the Waupaca Area Fire District's Rescue Response Unit. Again, when they find it necessary to go out after a snowmobiler or a dirt biker or somebody who, let's face it, not all accidents happen on the highway. So our local fire departments have a way to respond to you whenever you need help, wherever you are.
Well, Jim, the parade is just about ended, and our time is just about ended as well. But I would like to just take a minute to really thank everybody who's done a great job over the years in putting this parade together. We've sat up here and we've done all the talking, but most of the work has been done before we get on the air and afterwards.
They park the truck here, put the table on, bring the chairs, write up the parade route schedule for us, bring microphones, and all we do is show up.
We sit down and put the microphones on and speak for the next hour. But I think, as I was thinking back before, this is the 30th year that I've been down here for the Waupaca Hometown Days Parade. And I just like to thank the folks that really got this thing going and have kept it going over the years. Steve Fensky had the vision, brought it to life, and folks have carried it on since then. We've had Chad Richards, who worked here during high school, went on to the Air Force Academy. John Pori, and for the last several years, Josh Werner has kind of led the way and kept that vision alive, and we've been I've been pleased to have been a part of it, and it's been a great ride. I'd like to thank those folks, and we've got the camera people here, and you'll probably see their names on the screen before the program is over with.
Unless they screw it up again.
But I'd also like to thank you, Jim. We've shared a microphone for more than 30 years, going back to our days in radio, and it's very rare that you have someone that you work with in radio for more than a few years, much less become lifelong friends. So I thank you for sharing this microphone with me, and we'll also want a special thanks to the folks on the other side of the camera who have invited us into their homes. help with this parade for so many years.
Well, I hope it's been as fun for you to watch it as it has been for us to bring it to you. And you're right, Dan. I was just figuring in my head how long we've been sitting next to each other wearing microphones, and it's longer than I care to admit to. We were both very young when we started, but it's been a gas. Loved bringing you the parade, and maybe next year we'll have our own float in it.
If we're not here next year, start without us.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great, safe 4th of July. Thank you for watching. God bless America. Goodbye.
So long.